How can someone then begin to surround themselves with more positive and healthy influences versus the not
Oh,
so healthy ones that they currently have?
yeah. Yeah. I love that question, and I'm going to build on that question if that's okay, because many people are kind of stuck in that. Like your family is your family. And sometimes you're actually living in the same house as them. And it could be a partner, it could be your kids, or it could be your parents or something. So sometimes that is hard to escape. You actually can physically struggle to be away from them. So there's that part of it too. Sometimes it isn't easy to just, I'm not going to be around these people. Well, they may still matter to you. So what I've started to do is I I believe acceptance is really important, and forgiveness. So for me, if I'm around someone and I can see that they're really struggling, and I now describe it as this person is struggling right now. This isn't about me. So if they're angry or they're being dysfunctional and they're complaining and all that stuff, they're stuck. So again, I open up my heart and I think, oh, I can see what's going on here. They're stuck. I I'm not going to fight that because they need love. They need love and acceptance for who they are. Because deep down, I've got this other model, deep down, we've all got this beautiful true self that is being covered up by our fear programming. This is our fear self. And then we have our false self, which is our masking self. But the thing is, we're doing this false self, but we've got this running all the time anyway. We've got this program running. If we're doing our false self, then we've got this running underneath, basically. And sometimes we just see the raw fear self. And that's when they're complaining and they're acting out, they're being disruptive or dysfunctional, obviously, overtly dysfunctional. This is covert dysfunction. This is overt dysfunction, but they're both the survival program running. Makes sense? So if I've got family members or friends around me and I know that's just switched on their survival brain and they're complaining or whinging or something, I have a few strategies. One is I make a decision. Okay, do I want to just tune out or do I want to? Well, because I've taught kids how to have this invisible bubble around you that's really strong. You know, when you press a balloon, sometimes it doesn't pop. Well, this bubble's super strong, super powerful, and no one can burst your bubble. So you have this invisible bubble around you if somebody is being really awful around you to protect yourself in a really nurturing, loving way so that you don't get dragged into that. Does that make sense? So sometimes I have my imaginary bubble and I don't want that person to burst my bubble. So I go into a place of, I'm just not even going to let this spoil my little happy world, my happy self. And I'm going to be very strong and I'm going to put up my shield, my bubble, and not even buy into that. Then there's other times when it's that's easier said than done, and you can't necessarily do that. And that in those circumstances, I have really learned, and I'm still learning to open up my heart. And well, firstly, I observe them. I observe them and I put myself into a position of an observer and I create space between myself and that person or the energy because I don't want to be in the energy and dive into the problem pond, I call it. So I don't want to dive in there and be part of it and swimming around and whirlpooling around in that problem pond, getting all that negative energy. So I look at it now and I come from an observer place and I put space between myself And then I think, oh, hurt people hurt people. We know that.